Yes, indeed. 1212 Radio Culture. We live on iCulture TV. My name is Kwesi Eswan Bakun. Reaching you from Studio 1, Texas, USA. Studio 2 is on standby to give you the second interview, and then we have the rest of the show for you. But I'm starting it all off in Studio 1, Texas, USA, and I have our first interview for you. Yes, we did yank our guest from something very important, so we're not going to waste time talking too much. And at the same time, we're also going to suspend the editorial for the tail end of the show. Sounds in the background called Adulation for Dinkinesh. Adulation for Dinkinesh on the What the Money reading by African Roots. Proudly produced by Kormansi Music. Now let's go straight and bring on our guest, and we are going to speak with Dr. Kojo Oponwadie. Dr. Kojo Oponwadie, of course, is no stranger at all to this platform, but let us do something before we bring Doc on. Studio newsroom, can you please play the video for me very quickly, so we can start the interview based on that. Studio 2, the wide down interview, the wide down video, please, and then we'll take you from there. Thank you. Right after this, we'll bring on Dr. Kojo Oponwadie.
Cut diplomatic ties with former colonial ruler France with immediate effect. Burkina Faso's ruling junta has accused Paris of persistently acting against its interests. France has called the move hostile, but it is reviewing a response. Well, nonetheless, Burkina Faso's decision widens a rupture with the former colonial ruler after years of worsening ties over security, sovereignty, and alleged foreign interference.
Le gouvernement du Burkina Faso.
The government of Burkina Faso hereby informs both national and international public opinion that it has decided to sever its diplomatic relations with the French Republic, effective as of today, June 26, 2026. This decision follows a thorough assessment of the current state of bilateral relations between Burkina Faso and France. Indeed, the essential conditions for promoting relations based on mutual respect, reciprocal trust, respect for the principle of non-interference in internal affairs, and respect for national sovereignty are not in place.
Burkina Faso's Minister of Communication further accused France of supporting subversive networks and terrorists and harboring new colonial ambitions. Burkina Faso claims the regime currently in power in France is against its interests, and hence the nation has chosen the path of responsibility and sovereignty.
We will pause it right there and go straight to Dr. Kojo Oponwadie. There is a lengthy video, but I think this is the crux of what we want to talk about today. And we want to say thank you very much, Doc, for joining us today. We know we removed you from something very important, a family event, but we very much appreciate you. And for something like this to happen and for us not to check in with you, would not be usual. So please forgive us and give us a little bit of your time today, Doc. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
What was your reaction? What was your initial reaction when you heard about this? And while you answer that, can you tell us what the real implications of this are? We'll go into the details, of course, but just as a statement, what does this even mean?
Sure. First of all, greetings, Empire. I hope you're doing well, and greetings to your audience as well. I think that there are several things here. First of all, Burkina Faso is a sovereign state according to what sovereignty means for countries. It is a sovereign state, and it can decide who it wants to have relationships with and who it does not want to have relationships with.
Yeah.
Now, and I also don't think that Burkina Faso just woke up in a vacuum and decided that from now on, we are not going to have any relationships with France. Burkina Faso, I believe, is a very informed state, they also gather intelligence. They know certain things that they are not going to make public, things that informed their decision in severing the ties with France, right?
Yep.
But it's also interesting that France also said that they consider the actions of Burkina Faso hostile, and they were considering a response to that. And it's also very interesting that just this week, Mali again has come under terrorist attack, right? Yeah. So the question needs to be asked: are all these connected? I think they are all connected, right? Um,
Yep.
Again, Burkina Faso is not acting in a vacuum. Remember that they have different ways of gathering their own intelligence, and they stated categorically that France is not acting in their interest, and that France is pursuing neo-colonialist and terrorist support activities, which they are not willing to tolerate. Yeah. So that is where I think it is right now, right? Let's not forget that the colonial powers, in their minds, they never left Africa, right? Even though they gave us some kind of nominal independence when it comes to the ownership of the resources in Africa's soil, they think that it's theirs, that they should control those resources. And let me quote or paraphrase from a former French head of state, Jacques Chirac, who said, France will quickly slip back to the level of a third world country if not for Africa. Right? In other words, the economic support that Africa gives France is what makes France what it is. And therefore, France is not willing to give up that quote unquote cheap, cheap in terms of what they actually have to give up to acquire the resources in Africa. I want to talk about resources. We're talking about mineral resources. We're talking about human resources, all kinds of resources that they take away from Africa every single day. So, because countries such as Burkina Faso have taken a stance that they want to control their own resources, these are the crux of the matter. That they want to control their own resources. France, which thinks that those resources belong to it, is unhappy, and therefore is trying to do everything to destabilize Burkina Faso and regain control of those resources as it had done in colonial times. So that's where things stand right now. And I think that even in contemporary times, listening to a lot of African leaders, even those who are not hardline like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, are all seeing something very wrong with the picture, where Africans don't benefit from their own resources. And I'm talking about countries making things like 2%, 5%, 7%, 10% of the resources that come from those countries. The 90%, the 95% are all accruing to these colonial powers. Let's take another example quickly. Like from Niger. Prior to Niger taking on the different course and joining the AES as it has done now, was literally the source of all the uranium that was being used to power electricity in France. And there was no electricity in Niger. Niger had, apart from Niamey and maybe a few other places, Niger had absolutely no electricity, right? The government comes and takes over and renegotiates the deal for the sale of uranium, and all of a sudden, Niger is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. So I think that when we talk about neocolonialism, Kwame Nkrumah told us that is the final phase of imperialism, right? And that it is in full action right now. And that those countries which want to wrest that colonial yoke from their backs um, is not going to have it easy, but will prevail in the end.
Doc, do you think France is not just worried about Burkina Faso, but is concerned that it's going to have a spiraling effect? Because first of all, I'm surprised that all three AES states did not take that action, right? We only find Burkina Faso taking that action. The other two members of the AES have different degrees of disengagement, if you will, right, with France. But I'm surprised that, first of all, Burkina Faso did this separately. And then secondly, do you think France is concerned because they think it's going to be a spiraling effect, not just within the AES, but with other Francophone African countries?
And even Empire, even the concern is beyond the Francophone. If you noticed that the French President Macron took every item off his schedule and made it a point to meet African heads of states in Nairobi about a month or so ago. And most of the African countries he met over there were not necessarily the Francophone countries. It was more Anglophone and Lusophone than Francophone, right? In other words, not only is he concerned about what happens in countries such as Burkina Faso having a spiraling effect on the Francophone countries, but France is also concerned about this spiraling effect extending to the Anglophone and the Lusophone countries. And even a little bit more, they also now want to extend their sphere of dominance beyond the Francophone countries into the Anglophone and Lusophone countries. And it is for a simple reason that they see their economic livelihood directly tied to African resources. And they see the loss of countries from their stranglehold in the Francophone sphere as an opportunity to gain new countries into their fold from the Anglophone and Lusophone arenas.
Interesting. Speaking of which, ECOWAS comes to mind, right? Recently, also, we saw President Mahama meeting ahead. They had a meeting together, or at least their delegations met, or something to that effect. France and Ghana. Also, we see the ECOWAS kind of on its last leg, kind of, and there's a direct link with the ECOWAS and France.
Right.
Is this also something that's increasing the anxiety for France? Just like you've outlined, not just the Francophone countries, but the entire African continent with its influence, even among the non-French-speaking countries.
And this is a very important point that you raise, because let's take a country such as Benin. Benin has, Benin is, given the recent history, right? It's very interesting that Benin has indicated that it wants to join the AES. Now, look at ECOWAS. When we think about ECOWAS and we think about what its intentions have been in terms of being a regional base for all the West African countries, and its ambition to even develop a region-wide currency, and how that has been stifled by France, primarily because of the CFA franc that is used widely in the ECOWAS region and what that means for France, right? So if ECOWAS is also weakening, then by extension, that also extends to to France. Let me put it that way. By extension, France also is impacted. So yes, France is also very concerned about um, the decline of ECOWAS and what it can do to sustain it as it brings economic benefits to it.
Thank you very much, Doc. Now let me draw your attention to something else that possibly happening in the region, which you have actually hinted. Benin, indicating that it wants to join the AES. That would afford the AES a seaport, which is
Absolutely.
a very vital, which is going to be very vital
Yes.
to its development. Comment on this for me, please.
Absolutely. And quickly, Togo also has shown some kind of disposition to look to the AES for membership. And Togo is also the one which is actually acting as the country that links Burkina Faso to the sea in contemporary times. It has given access to its to Burkina Faso to its port. Now, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger are all landlocked countries, and gaining unfettered access to the sea will be something that will strengthen the entire regional bloc. That is, when I say entire regional bloc, I mean the AES in this case. So yes, if Benin does succeed in joining the AES, that will grant AES countries access to the port, and this will also be something that will impact economies in this country. Right now, Burkina Faso benefits from the arrangement with Togo, but there can be more benefits accruing to Burkina Faso, for instance, if it has um, access to the port in Benin as well. And then of course, we have Mali and Niger also gaining access to the port should Benin succeed in becoming a member of the AES. And that is something that is also not sitting well with France and the neo-colonial powers, because if you look, they're also doing whatever they can through some West African countries to prevent the rise of um, these newly forming blocks in the West African region.
Doc, thank you very much. Now, Ghana plays a vital role. Ghana is obviously not francophone. Ghana is a key member of the ECOWAS, and Ghana is very friendly with Burkina Faso. Ghana has an envoy to the AES. How is Ghana situated to possibly forge some kind of arrangement, if you will, between the AES or Burkina Faso and France? And do you think we should do that at all?
I think that judging from public sentiment, a lot of people in Ghana and the West African region at large are not happy with the neo-colonial arrangements, and I don't think we'll tolerate any new regional arrangements with France. Now, you mentioned what Ghana can do. Yes, Ghana has, I think, I want to say, upcoming chairmanship, if it hasn't already happened, for the ECOWAS, right? And it also has a special envoy to the AES. And I think that the reason why the president created the office of the special envoy was to try to seek some kind of channel through which the AES countries can be brought back into the ECOWAS bloc. But given the present state of the region and the fact that countries such as Burkina Faso are now severing ties with France, it will be very difficult to convince those countries to come back into the ECOWAS fold, because they already see ECOWAS, and rightly so, as a tool of the Western powers. And this is because if you cast your mind back to when the coup happened in Benin, well, let me even go beyond that. When the coup first happened in Niger, countries such as Ghana and Nigeria in particular were threatening Niger with a military invasion if they did not restore the
Exactly.
said president
Mhm.
back to power. So the question becomes, whose interest are you acting? That is, Ghana under Akufo-Addo and Nigeria, and also Ivory Coast. Which whose interests were you acting that required you to move beyond seeking diplomatic solutions and threatening countries such as Niger with invasion? Secondly, when the coup happened in Benin, it was Nigeria that flew planes to go and quell it. Um,
Mhm.
it is said that there was some communication between France and Nigeria, which saw Nigeria acting, in other words, as a proxy for France to quell that coup in Benin. So, because of these actions, when countries are suspicious of your ties to France and what that means in terms of their independence and their sovereignty, they are justified in being suspicious, and in that way they will work in any way to sustain the gains regarding independence and sovereignty that they have
Mm. And
gained.
what a difference policy and leadership makes, right? Because under the same Ghana, we
Yep.
have and you remember that legendary photo of Traore shaking
Right.
elbows,
Right.
bumping elbows with Akufo-Addo
Yeah.
versus hugging and shaking President Mahama, and then coming to his
Absolutely.
inauguration and all that. But then again, we're also seeing that the people actually make the difference, because I think
Absolutely.
that if the people hadn't intervened, Nigeria, Ghana at the time probably would have made the foolish
I
decision to
know.
invade
Can you
Burkina
imagine that?
Faso.
Because the public sentiment in Ghana regarding allowing Ghana to attack a country such as Niger, a brother sister African country, was extremely high. The sentiment was against the government of Ghana doing anything like that, right? So the people really do matter, and we cannot put that to the background at all.
And you do remember our last interview with the former Deputy Defense Minister, where he mentioned that Burkina Faso was cocked and ready. They were not going to be playing at all. I know
Absolutely.
you need to go, Doc. But before you go, finally, please, I had a question I needed to ask you first, but I know you have to go. So let me chip this in before you go. Haiti,
Yes.
on the 222nd anniversary of the famous battle that formed the first Black Republic,
Right.
Africa's real estate outside of the continent,
True.
right? They also made entry into the FIFA World Cup.
Right.
Now, significantly, they had a jersey which depicted their victory, the anniversary on their jersey. FIFA made them change that.
Yes.
Quickly, please. Comment on that before we go, please.
You see, Haiti is a very important country when it comes to the African world. Now, when I say the African world, let me be clear. I don't mean, or I don't limit that to the continent of Africa. I'm looking at wherever the sons and daughters of Africa are. And why is Haiti important? Haiti, as you rightly said, established itself as the first Black republic in the Western Hemisphere in 1804. And they did so by defeating, at that time, the number one army in the world, the army of Napoleon Bonaparte, France. They defeated the army of Spain. They defeated the army of the United Kingdom, and they also defeated the army of the United States. So ever since then, Haiti has been made a pariah, so to speak, and an enemy of the Western powers. And even if you look at here in the United States and how the government relates to Haiti, like we see, for instance, the government turning back Haitian migrants, right? But at the same time, really granting an open door policy to Africans of South Africa to migrate to the United States. Now, having said that, the pride that Haiti exhibits or demonstrates with its history is something that the Western powers also don't find enthusing. And therefore, when Haiti decided to put that victorious part of their history on their jerseys, um, FIFA was quick to ask them to take that off the jersey, which I think was rather unfortunate because you know it is something that we hold dear, like the whole emancipation. This was a ripple effect that really saw many countries, even including the United States. You look at United States, once the Haitian Revolution succeeded, most of the rebellions and insurrections among African Americans occurred right after the Haitian Revolution.
Mhm.
Haiti, the African American community, Frederick Douglass went to Haiti, right? And then this also spiraled onto other Caribbean countries, which also then had an impact on the independence movements in the motherland, Africa. So Haiti remains a very vital part. And again, you talk about spiraling effect. Um, FIFA, I'm sure, was also concerned about the spiraling effect that would have on other Black countries should Haiti be given the opportunity to depict their victory on their jersey during the World Cup. And I think that Haiti has been a country that has never seen itself as not being an African country. This is very important, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Haiti has was very instrumental in the independence movements of Africa, and post independence has also always sought to become a member of the now defunct or almost defunct organization.
I don't know why that hasn't happened yet,
But
to be honest with you.
yeah, because actually it happened, and then the OAU quickly reneged and said that because Haiti was not on the continent of Africa, they could not allow it. But it was clear that there had been some communication between them and the Western part, because they did grant Haiti um, admission to the OAU and then quickly afterwards reneged, right? So, yeah, Haiti remains, and even if they didn't allow Haiti to have that depiction on the jersey, we still know the role that Haiti has played.
You know what? You know what FIFA actually did is bring the story to the limelight.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
That's what's happening right now. Thank you, FIFA. But for you.
Absolutely.
All right, Doc. I know you need to go. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Your final words on the impact of Burkina Faso cutting diplomatic ties with France before we go, sir.
Sure. I think that African countries, we need to take our sovereignty seriously. Sovereignty is not only limited to like Independence Day parades and that kind of thing. It's also, has a full-fledged meaning. What does it mean to be a sovereign country? What does it mean to be able to decide for yourself as a country? What does it mean to have non-interference in your political affairs as a country? And that when you see any country, engaging in such, those countries on the African continent should be bold to take actions that augur well for their citizens, such as, severing ties, if necessary, with some of these former colonial powers. So, I think that, France has threatened Burkina Faso with a response, saying that it has taken a hostile action. But like again, I don't think Burkina Faso just got up one day and said we want to sever ties with France. It has been accusing France of involvement with backing terrorist groups for a very long time. And it is also very interesting that just as this occurred, Mali is also seeing another resurgence in terrorist attacks. So it remains. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm expecting Mali and Niger at the very least to follow soon.
Yeah. I think everything is tactical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think Burkina Faso, being in the position it is, has decided to take the lead. But I won't be surprised if in the very near future, Mali and Niger also follow suit.
And by the way, the AES is showing the way, if you ask me, because they set up their own passport, which is working fine for them. They have their, they have their own currency systems and all of that. They are merging the economies. Their ministers are planning together.
A central bank. Yeah.
You see, this is what African unity is about. This is what, and I think they're showing the way. And as I always say, I think they can show the way for the rest of the continent to follow. I personally think that the ECOWAS should think of merging into the AES.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? And maybe not call it the AES, but
something else. Something else that
with the principles of the AES, rather than as a proxy for France or any other of these colonial powers. Dr. Kujo Oponwade, greetings to the family.
That's it. Yeah, do the same for me. Greetings to the family.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kujo Oponwade, a Pan-Africanist. He's an author. He is an educationist. He's based in Chicago, in the United States of America. We are also expecting to speak with former Deputy Defense Minister, Major Derek Odro. We will bring him on. But in the meantime, Studio 2, stand by, please. Because if we don't get Major Derek Odro, we'll be cutting straight to you. We're going to go for a very short commercial break. When we come back, we either bring you Major Derek Odro, or we may bring you Studio 2. Please stand by, don't go away. Blood of the slain.
Zayana Yahweh. Zayana way. Zayana Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi Bako when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. Good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma Porridge and Cream of Laka when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571-300-5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
You ready? Y'all ready to see Snowboard tonight?
Is an African thing. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for representing for Ghana. Yeah. All I own and know me, I go by the name Stone Boy. To this, when I can't stop the shine, so I go blind. I'm up on the level so hungry. Just show me a sign. Me see 9 times, and the lights never be so like wine. Cause few get chosen, but many are. Some of them frozen, but we stand tall. I we are flying and we not crying. To what I can hear, we are born. What is who is? like the filler. The rest of the band, them a cheater. Them a run after man like a cheater. But I use it as some boy, you know the melody. So say I run after Peter, just Yo, can I see some light in the crowd, please? Yeah, Ghana people, I thank you so much for representing God. I was not supposed to be here because y'all know I just wanted to do a surgery, right? I just wanted to do some surgery, some. I know all of you know the news. Yeah, but I still said I was gonna come because yo. So why some people wicked, so do you know? Why some people, what is my name? Why some people, do you know? Why some people, everyone, like I rope and in the tree to touch up the sky. Every day we see I work for your blind. Like the bird I want to fly. Then one day, what that them a do to me, I don't want anybody to this. The one that they got me, people, they got me, they got me. Don't have to jump on it, they got me. They go up with the thing. They want me to search in the audition. If I don't say I have a niche, I already heard to every day I know. Tell them this, I was just one of them. Alright, like I said it this way. So don't worry about it. Yeah. So don't worry about it. So don't worry about the fuck that they want to say because my life is precious. Me I live my life to death. I me don't care about the gun concern and the backbiting. I see that. Up to the climax, up to the energy. See me can run and dance to the melody. They cannot hold me down. We are the party water. Swap another party. And you begin, and you cross them. And I want to back to a logo. Swap another party. I'm going to say, and you begin, and you cross them. And I want to back to a logo. So everyone they want to keep come here. You go like I can see the matter.
Yes, indeed. 1212 Radio Culture. We live on iCulture TV one more time. Yes, unfortunately, we were not able to bring you Major Derek Odro. Major is engaged at another event, which is taking him away from us for now. But at least we did get a good enough insight into the matter with Dr. Kojo Oponwadie. So at this point, we're going to cut straight to Studio 2 for our second interview of the day. And after that, the rest of the show will continue. Studio 2, Mbak, the general, is ready, seated, ready to go in Studio 2. And please stand by. We will be going to Studio 2 in a second. Until then, my name is Kwesi Esonbaku. I am saying my goodbyes for now. You may see me at the tail end of the show, but from here on, Studio 2 takes over. Mbak, the general, is in the seat in Studio 2. Thank you very much for joining me.
The Codfish Grill, Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. Good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma Porridge and Cream of Laka when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571 300 5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Right. Yes, also Emo Akwaba, Ediba, GH News Now, iQuarter TV, Radio Quarter, Studio 2, and I want to see you are sinful to Ghana. Yet Kwesi Baku Asepa, some of them are very, very interesting. Yet Asepa for that interview. Now, yes, we have to also have issues the brain, fly behind the home come up. Somewhere power, any day, family from home. Na midi at the embark the general and see and the say abaya some kase Ghana ha since we poye na no won kan say nipa be I displaced only baby say amount for no my basa the baby omo beda nkofo no ma say bi crash omo nkwa and you are simple to yanti ye bedi efie nkomo kakra ye need NADMO director Mr. Lawrence Dakwa, Dodo friend Bonzogo. You need to be doing now what media from me I said, I have Boa Bay, anyone who say Ben and NADMO, the outfit no on my year, I will ensure extreme, was simple to you and see, you better cook now for you and not to uncommon so, and the extra hot to see the you better see train now and common to us. Right. Yes, what you come on to iQuarter TV, Radio Quarter, and of course GH News Now. Your name Mr. Lawrence Dakwa, Ebedin Komogakra, a flood in Samoa Koso Ghana ha, or a NADMO director or simple to municipal. Your name Bedin Komonia share. Ono from Boa Bay na my year, since you are free, a simple to her, to say no more Ben a yenye. And then I share any education you whole crowd, but to media residents are simple to name important. Now, you have a sense, yeah, air coffee. Other towns, the brain them say, or more experiences are a highway. You have say a house, you say a one, I say a bobo and home. And you might be no media who are quite more. You heard him say, or house may be into me and to ye. And now, the amount for me. Na esini aboye sebe ya nkonya problem bia e ba de say talk say ya nti Mr. Lawrence Dakwa ebe ba na free ene na to nkomo no so dey free ho ye kawo say iQuarter TV Quarter Radio na Radio Quarter and free GH News Now but me subscribe to your channel on YouTube nti bo mo dey so be call YouTube na free okwa no o timi subscribe to the channel. Your Facebook page is so more than so well like now for you share a man phone so no money share your life our simple you St. Francis Xavier Hospital and maybe and share with the embark the general and Mr. Baku and so about Johnny you we are a bit of Kuya money or money kakra papa they were being Kuya mupa and see and the Equafoina no was stress actually, yeah, Ubinian Faso, Quia Yenu, a Quan Faso, with me, I queer no I art and quarter, any other segmenta, Yabwa, the Bebremo. So, shortly, enter your name is Lawrence Daqua, a betua and Commonoso, and the free. Mr. Daqua, but I think. Okay. So about.
I'm doing Governor.
Yeah. Mr. Lawrence Daqua, what think I more cover about GH News Now? Any quarter, TV, any quarter. And but we have a call there.
Me doing Governor.
Yo. So we have
a
yo. When you come back, cry. And say them say it's time na every you say you are cry. Ahometipa any kind wakoye not more directly. Already sense any kind. Oma say omo ho aka. Wabra is you.
Ah, about that Ramadan what you say. Ajo sabra bi na why you know network net to boy.
Okay, because I'm saying come on you didn't say.
About sabra bi no network net to boy.
Me pato you. So what me nka dia nsiye ya ba Accra. As say nipa bebre ama omu ni bebi ti bebre ahwe mu nkwa ejapade afa ni ade. Wakoye nadmo director wa Simple Municipal. You better edi kan kra you better nkomo na se no. Already sensem be na wo de kan wonu ma sabi. Omo ho aka wa bra nsiye ba nkan.
Okay. Morning patron say nka dey.
Me donga amba.
Yo, but that's pa say and e fra wa eboko.
Me donga.
Nsure ho asem ana ye ehun komo na ye di. Mpanin mo na mo kan say sabi ehwini nya na aninya na ehwini nso anya. Ye nuanom krafo nsu ayi ma say nipa bebre ebibni ma ebiti ejapade bebre na asese bebre nsu na sabi o ma hwe o mo nkwa. We not more director was same for su. Answer the be shem komona sekra wadaroma. Arechichen se be na wo catch one ma. Se bi wa hwe wade hye ne o man nsuo no omo ho aka wo. I'm say connection problem akra. Network semununti. Mr. Lawrence Daqua.
The Catfish Grill, Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Ayana Yahweh, oh, Zayana Yahweh, oh, Zayana way, oh, Zayana Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked.
iCulture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
Say, Mr. Dakwa, Facha Kakram said network problems in Kwan MC in your
Yeah, just
but that's a pa. With the head try to come this way. So after two mudia. Yes, I some walk about iCulture TV and a radio culture and a GH News now. Se in Sweden ba say ama okonkran amanfo bebre ehwaka say of course I send your man the sebia wudi nkofo bebre na ahwe mo nkwan wo saade as if as not more director and say be ni no ma be na ode ku akwan mu a say in case you to hakra e betumi a contain this situation.
yo, I'm a mamin chow na min chow for na min chow reference. Yes, as you don't know, as if was here the normal be brought. So the reason is that buy a share not more share. Buy it, not more. Yeah, just why a prevention piece. NADM was a saving lives and properties. NADM was a whole. So you found one step. Protect, provide prevention piece, and you didn't kind more of prevention. You didn't kind education. And sana, you made adru. And sana, you made adru. Yet you need more of education than a senior kwakoye one. And you need Jim met di nkomo this year. On my say, if you can see about taught this very year. And since you can see about taught year, I was saying as you boy see. The home Bobuana is on several folks. It be education, public sensitizations, and then as a form. Then who identify who you frame be hazard mapping, who identify baby a disaster prone when it comes to raining. I say to be identified as a piano. So what we did was that, and I'm saying for my that earlier signal. Yes, you have education. Of course, your station, my airtime, and you call different radio stations, sensitizing the people of insurance ebeba the eminent this and then. And really, yes, I hazard mapping. I make one something. You identify weak buildings. And there I am bra. Yes, so insurance. I shall see Cassia. A bit me do a however. Hello. General.
But me too, pa.
General. General.
Yeah, Mr. Lawrence Aqua, but me too, pa.
Okay. And your friend be hazard map it. You identify weak buildings that. And so no to esi for my bit me or however. And also Dancha. You identify disaster prone, water prone area. You kind of waterlogged area. Maybe in so to a type. Maybe in so to a type. Never to me the oye nearby. You identify sad na. So what we did was that okay, say a particular place we are in so to a bit to do how about there. Then yes, yeah. I was say starting at the certain before say a bit ready see. In the Oba for instance, you identify as if for proper, you identify 19 flood prone areas.
Wow.
Yeah. Then for Suno, you categorize and say Antonsu when it comes to our unity. Antonsu fall under the Fosu.
Yeah.
Then Oko outskirts now, I seen Yankumase. You identify two water and disaster prone areas.
Okay.
Then the Cropon, you identify also there. When you go to I would say offend and you know that they do mine and a lot.
Okay.
And see, yeah, identify some areas in the baby. The certain as even one more illegal miners. Either legal or illegal. Yenya almost deserted gutters no my. And as I'm speaking with you, Oko asamai any same area no. The water level no was very high. But then to me flooding crony because the certain wall. And my drains on my almost the excavator no a plan in Jama and showing a baby fat. So there hardly be any flooding. Yes.
Okay.
And to over for one so any the American one. Baby a water prone areas able to be at Torrentama, but especially over for Judah gas is so to a flood.
Okay.
Yeah, what Emma now while nobody others says there hasn't been that flood in my I'm sorry, but I'm friend apostolic. Waterlogged area. So what we did was I throw a letter at the command and on mobile office. And you throw more the J met and come on about with drawings and everything. We issued it to them. Say it does say on by a drainage format for them. And now on the free walk after show at Tianoma.
Okay.
And they did exactly what we told them. Almost heavy. And over the years, and so to us, we are not movie for them. But to say to me, because there's a water free flow.
Wow.
What's the
Meto kapa. The okay proactive measures are mode gu akwam. Sebe ya yinya how. Mame mo aba so na.
Exactly.
Ade bia nso e dey obehia challenge. Challenge be na mo hyiahia nkofo sisi dan bi so asi ba bia makọ ho senka bia yemungu na mo ne monya akasa ana enima bi sim kwan mo adwuma nso a wada ma me hu.
Yo back adwuma challenges wo. Ba me no the challenge no e ho na me overcome it easily.
Okay.
Me so me dia nya me dia mama no. And now I'm no say there's this area also flooded. How crowd the enjoy to many challenges kakra but and yet to the maximum level as a man outside this beboa because everything was put under control. but sport ones be at the back. Oko baby area from Fusu down so man.
Okay.
Me who say if you never told to say the gym at focus and heavy. Enti obi akoye nsubu he from ataniata. Enti obi koye say ofele e hono no de aye project. And I'm a stop you know.
Okay.
Because stop na man for 40 years stores hold one make stop problem. And they enti ensuo na to the hono to be nyi because she said they become between 1 to 1 amount. But then the crowd be one of friend say any pana baso sabaye or sabaye feel me feel one me buy am na mo baka say I have stopped them. Enti me the challenge no me I will overcome it. So the yankopon oye me no. Oko baby ana make kan wato Judah gas ne opposite right. Roman for aye feeling bi wo. Na feeling no se me jane ko so edwo ha obeba. Eno so me to anamo ko stop here. Nti me no ka say feeling no kakra no mo ye no ewo ho because me jane no mo ye feeling no ene esi a. There's a man ono so ti wa e friend no Zek o dan wo ho. Se me jane no mo ye feeling na ntuo ni betu no.
Wow.
So there has been a lot of challenges. By the challenge, you know, the Miada room, our mind, Sabi, Subambia, and now what did I Cassaman 48? When I come there and I say, baby, I will see at the end, I will never allow you, they agree.
Wow. Is that let me talk about that's a part that I'm some of more corner. Maybe I say, a month for now, yet say a simple in the bottom. And then yes, we say education be hard when my now you show to me the aboma modumana koswa for my
I'm a go share and cran as a for one. And some is owning in a human activities. A young cassette memo for and the air causes are flooded. Why? Because a buying a choir, ye got us at home. The entire the got at home say, should ensure Tokesia, ever feminine the alcohol. But yet, memo for no. The FGI say, I lazy to the extent that your baller, I said, the call reference dump on. Yeah, Yanis out near the so no to the Gugaten. And no, this are huge flood anymore. But in a simple 2 years, said the mechanic, Medinka, yeah, that education. Up and go for around that. Mr. almost said, almost will be to one market, say, for instance, and no more in Patem one. Almost 2 ball and Gugaten. Quickly, they should almost picture. Almost report to mommy. The back of chill. It is hard to know anything. A man went to me and yet some more tunes, ball a goons, especially station. What? The ever say, yes, pray, ya saying, ye sat or rancham be a sing crime. Name going forward. Yan tree and home free one. Ball and I to go, young gatas in the moon. 2. One more among scarcity dynamo see waterlogged area. Baby and sofa. I'm back. I dear back where a young one is a Usioni Eja, Yen Sin the Quine. About Ujepa. Little and Eja, Yen Sin the Quine. Usioni Giant Sin the Quine. What tries to obey your choir? Baby or person of your befa. Or no, open in choir. Damage or by yano. Or stop in any year. Open stop for no idea. Aha. And sanity idea. Ya Bob Brani and Yasikani Kusidaya. Omumra technocrat in your hot near Chromo say, aha. For so your plan was hanging her. Plan for su plano. It is there. One to go to physical department, physical planning department. So a higher quine, a higher ensure, a higher forest, a higher yarn, a higher say. Enti matima mo fo ne mfa nso mo so mo no manyo musika into akoto plot into OC anhwe ya no akosi asikwan ma ya baba bebu anhwe ya no bebi a wo de akọ no ensuo kwan a ye ja ma wusi a e de wo ha wo beba enti ya ma wunsi
Okay.
And going forward, you know, send your buyer the S1 credit to you. Timon for any in your okay. Answer no benya siko so besidan. O me hu technocratia no ye nkyere ne say aha. Enyi infrastructure.
Okay. Yo, we da say na say the okay nyina no. So manfo ani so na nyame panwu ye atwenta na bi say akosi a eno na mo be na mo so mbetu wo ho say ese awie no. We ba jo timi kai.
Yo, sia nadmo ye beba. Ye baba befa report, ya be detailed report. Ya ye disaster assessment. Ye dia kwa region. Ete wonka ye pa.
Okay.
Me say Satorentem sia. Mete wonka ye pa. Mete wonka amba. Menkwaso.
Ba to mete o pa.
Ya menkwaso. Mentwaso.
E ba to kasa.
Okay. Atorentem sia. Ye beba. Ye beba be trotro. Ono ma eseye. O dem ho no ma wo. Ye be quantify ni nyina. Na ya trot report aka ho. Ye fa the disaster assessment report. And about cause ye fa the situational report. That is the detail of the incident you see here. If we are near the core region. And region so they be called national. Na national ko titi ne bo wirim. And no ma bi wo ho anu de aba na ye de abra. Na de tie die. E bi anu was 10 bedrooms. And bag your before report to the choir, you do me 10 bedrooms. My triple and ye have a man bro packet. Ah, I don't think ye can say yen education na no more na yen pie hu flat of rancham ho. And babu to ye fa wata de show so say ye kama.
Yeah.
E ko ba say atorrancham to sebi na woda no ma nyina say including atade ye show ya. Yes, a better of fools and tidy about saying, yeah, no one matter because you're wrong for that to never thought any amount.
Okay.
It's
relief items are eba.
Say, oh, my
okay. Now, relief items na ya eba. I don't them to say, send them to be handled. No, why na honor na I didn't send me eba. I don't know nature to say. I need for him eba.
Yo, Emma, said a macano. Yeah, at a range a particular, your friends say, a dying and ash. What we do is that, yeah, if my father's a compound house next year, and the padodu a wohono, your fat a dying obedient in back, and then you can or more than back. We are from your one household. Eti yeah, the sa the qua. Say relief items about say from bless her particular room na. Ye be fie ho a no household. Di be ba say wo no yire ne wo ba e ba miensa o yire ne kunu no. Ye ba mu di na mo ba. E say o e bi a mo de ye be hwe ye no na mo de no mattress ahye. Enti bi asai de be yan say ye nya bropa ana student mattress. Enti wo no yire no ba no mo de yi. Be bi a adom be ba e be nya nkyese dan no. Na ebi a order na chese na 14 packet na the boss. Mi ba na me kuta 1 packet pe. Yes ye dey do ye dey bo no.
Oh, okay. Said the momo ho be fun na mo de be boa nipa a atwe tomato no nyese bi a ne wakre nyina na ye hye na nem.
That be not want me fa won ko ba bia. Atorancham to a not want me fa won ko si ba bia nkane na wo no da endrupo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, was that Lord that way educate here pa na that's so to me nya brama na answer na be call no come na de but in seeing area or don't say Sudanka e be ga say hot spots for insecurity and to see a hot situation is to say
Yeah, but in see honor hotspots. And then I mean, me no kasa na me catch us say you identify sa bia ni na. But in saying the one aje bo no kwa. Esase o SD school mo.
Okay.
Ensuo to a ho na di volume ni fiba. Ho na di volume ni fiba. Ansa na di apa baby a hu no. Ebi mo ye project for bi ho no.
Yeah, o free. I am free down SD hola na so to next.
Exactly. And you to an amount of the excavator, acquire the certain or before you go to the I don't think I won't say, and soon to a new year who's you walk, but to say area honor. But the volume now at the free Sorobano and no flow at the chemical. So that issue was taken under control. I don't think I want to say it is not to the best, but at least yet me a container.
Wow. To say that afọdefo bi ɛbɛyɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ nneɛma a ɛde nsuyire bɛba na ɛde atoyɛ nkyɛn bɛba a sɛ no asotwe bɛ paa na ɛwɔ hɔ mɔ because Ghana for yɛasoɔden kakra wɔ saa nneɛma no sɛ asotwe bɛ paa na ɛwɔ hɔ ma obi a ɛbɛhu sɛ ebi a yɛte gata mu no ɔpɛ so yɛ bibi ma esie yɛde nwura egu mu anaa yɛyɛ nneɛma bi a yɛde saa atoyɛ nkyɛn mu nyinaa bɛtumi atoyɛ mu ho bi saa ɛde asotwe paa na mede ma saa nipa. Hello. Okay. Connection problem. No, I did that. See, Mr. Lawrence Dakwa, say no to me, am I young? Where they were share insights, pa, my young say, Atrenchem, and a simple suno. According to NADMO director, Yejina Ye, Banner say be a flood, even though in him say a natural disaster and a natural phenomenon. They bet to me as an answer. Omodi kind the proactive measures egu kwamua and the to me hunu ensuyire bia saa ha. And of course the all council say nneoma odo ma nyina no mo tumi assessment enso tumi identify hotspots ahodo and omo educate omanfo no so asave so ne important sebe ya yenkonya ensuyire flood said the can no twika se say ensuyire entumi nkoba wa asave so ha the enei na ka bibisa ne sɛ asotwe potse bɛn na ya ɔmo de ma ɔmanfo anam sɛ ɔti free ahoma no so of course ɔde kan be ehu sɛ atoyɛ ntɛm to wa yɛntumi ma unsi wo da dem sɛ de ɛteɛ ade sɛ adom bi bɛm ebia na wo da wo papa bi so ɛne ade wo nneɛma bi wo dem enso yire ɛfa wa na sɛ atoyɛ ntɛm to wa ebia na ama student mattress sɛ da so yɛntumi fa unsi wo da dem yɛ nyinaa yɛbɔ yɛn ho ban na yɛhwɛ yie wɔ ɛkwan fa tutu nwura egu wɔ especially gata mu ne ade sɛbɛ ya nsuo tɔ a enya baabi atumi afa na amebu amfa so yɛ fie ama yɛn ho amakyere yɛn wei yɛ nkɔmɔ akra na yɛdi yɛ wɔ iCulture TV, Radio Culture, and GH News Now. We are live on Facebook and of course on YouTube and the other social media platforms as well. Hi, today too. I sent for Zoom, Bede Ede Embark, Prince Crunchy, and yeah, Jumani as technician. Yeah, ba na encommand be brave ho. You be more at it. Until trying to see and come up your why, no sabbath to us.
with the 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury
since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
You ready? Y'all ready to see Songbird tonight?
Is an African thing. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for representing for Ghana. Yeah. All I own and know me, I go by the name Stone Boy. To this. When the kids stop to shine, shine go blind. I'm up on the level so hard me up. Just show me a sign. Me see 9 times and the lights never be turned like wine. Cause few get chosen but prayer. Some of them frozen but we stand tall. I we are flying and we not cry. To what I can hear we are born. No, what is who is?
Okay, thank you very much for staying. Surprised to see me again, huh? After the Studio 2 interview, we were supposed to go for the rest of the show, of course. But I'm back. Why? Because we were supposed to have Major Derek Odro, as Major retired Derek Odro, former Deputy Defense Minister, as we advertised originally. And as I did indicate earlier, na wenya issue kakra also step away, so we couldn't bring him. But he has graciously, I love this man. He is so respectful of his promise. So, okay, so will show so on Mount is whether he's coming out. Believe me, rain or shine, he's coming. That's a soldier. He's a soldier, if you ask me. But anyhow, let me cut the applause and let me just go straight on the line to go speak with Major Derek Odro. Major Derek Odro, a former Deputy Defense Minister, as I said. And of course, we're discussing the issue of Burkina Faso cutting ties with France. Unfortunately, because of where he is, he's not able to join us via video, but we have the most important component of the interview, which is his voice. He's joining us now via phone. Thank you very much, Major Derek Odro, Major retired Derek Odro. Major Mpacho saying, Nyame adom, obade na adom saabi. Na me pacho wa himfa, wonam kwan so ana. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Of course. Of course. That's a part. Michelle. So we now Brahma Major. Now let's go straight to it. Burkina Faso announced say or more ties, diplomatic ties, that is with France. Burkina Faso's relationship to France and all that. Now, Professor Kojo Oponwadi Edin Kumokakra about what it means culturally, what it means politically, all of that. In terms of security, Major, what does this mean for us? What does this mean for the sub-region, Major? Upper Volta, that's right.
Thomas Sankara and Kuna Uchini no call Burkina Faso. 1960 na Burkina Faso independence and civilian rule now you lead you to independence and the farming community Ghana independence and the more said Captain Thomas Sankara be and take over and we change political atmosphere no socialism, revolutionary and that kind of thing. It's happening in Western world. Money if I were in the only war, President Rollins of Ghana and now somewhere along the line one and for Grace Campori, every two or also be the idea. Actually, I'm out for brass Campori, and everything somehow say more constitutional. Then Ibrahim Traore, 2022, or also a military takeover. Now, when you say military takeover, our signing so many reasons. And what they take over. One of them, maybe they are concerned the woman security. So they were both one. Now, Burkina Faso was almost engulfed in terrorism. Terrorists, almost clothing in Alpha. Or manning in Alpha. Now, such a form of jihadist. When you say jihadist, if you remember Boko Haram for ISIS, falling in most of them are moving towards Burkina Faso. And I said, Sahel regions, terrorists no concentrate on training push it down south abenya access to sea either through Ghana or through any of this Togo agriculture, but Omuntimi Enya a chance, because Ghana one of the reasons that Ibrahim Traore and said almost security, the military, the security of the military, and then if you say Ghana, Ali and training, everything. Border security boom. No, just at the Ghana. Your security, a soldier for no, the way I go, I couldn't hear me. I can't hear equipment. Ghana for one or not. Burkina Faso, Nibi. It's not terrorists, it's you or Mopa. I know alcohol and a man be a year cool. Among other things, almost Ghana, I'm on so. You perform your duties. You provide security. Terrorists. No intimate Ghana, Togo, Ivory Coast, any other places. But Ghana, because their security is so tight. That was the reason why. As I say, no. One outside, French now one more. Burkina Faso was our colonial masters in the French. The French, one more fight against terrorism. Burkina Faso. Why France and Siano Gra? And see what we said no. One to be in France. And one to our Bra. Terror. It's what we have said. One air draw. One more security. I know France in there. And from that time, now more draw. Now one more air sabotage. According to Ibrahim Traore, was sent in France for air sabotage. You shoot. The person there, that's all for and then sabotage or the I'm a friend of neo-colonialism, no, and not war yet. We show them for a fair or kept us so interested, what baby piano. Now, Francis for against it. And I'm about to say no. That said, yeah, one more move away from any Western world. Say, Russia and now I'm doing money actually. As I see Americano, Russia for and the air war fighting against Islamic jihad. Jihad is our more now, they say we will break diplomatic relations. Diplomatic relationship with France, Niger, that's why it be Mali is why it be charged France. And secure interest. But our three countries have formal alliance for Sahel states. One more other draw from ECOWAS completely. Our woman be here. And let's say no, woman is one. A year woman. Into one more interest, our baby, France, through that. And what we used to Burkina Faso and Crawford, we are against
dissidents.
All you saw, and so you could get all you said that minerals, near other resources are now Burkina Faso, France, then almost see France in almost see Burkina Faso. And they say no, what capitalize. So, you don't want to contact one pen. So, that is the current situation. Burkina Faso and France and
interesting.
Obi Musa said, it is only colonial masters that capitalize. There are no more war fighting against a terrorism in our country. I say, what you want or Kenya, what is going to be your security state?
Exactly.
Now, I can rely on Russian Air Forces and provision of security. On so many occasions, and Islamic jihadists actually said, or may move down, take over the country. But Omataya, Womu Entimi, currently, Mali, die for the same thing. What we have to say, France and then sabotage on this country. See, and you know what we are doing now, while the people are united against Islamic jihadists, not the pass who will take over. Now, while they have the backing of Russian missionaries, and the total commitment of the whole Burkina Faso country, among the jihadists,
Interesting, Major. Now, yeah, that's a piece. So, what my background crap to the whole thing, right? This is more. What's happening there now? Now, Mami Miso, Burkina Faso, I accuse France, almost sabotage in their security effort, which means, akes a very improved situation, or at least that's on paper, right? But second, me akesenka mo army and fiha anabibisa. But almost ye nimu to kwanta ye pai like ye nimu ni any diplomatic ties bia ye ni ambassador e wo mo ho mo ni ambassador we ho e deep kakra wa na I'm say apart from security no.
The only country be breaking diplomatic ties. Like I said, we here in our country, now we and I'm military agreement. I don't know
the trim.
It's affected security. And I say, military movement, and I say, yes. What we say? So, France and secure money interest. No, almost sabotage now the best thing to do is say, or no more break here, or when you're quite say, as a watching right here. One more the teacher say, oh, yeah, buy no more, you know, and not one more pushing, one more floating. Yeah, next year, Burkina Faso. That is why they are taking that decision. Say, one more, anyone here. And no, I'm not quite my friends, and not take advantage.
Something like sending spies, right? Because we share another area, so Burkina Faso, the press, the media, or much as the media no and representing assembly. The crackdown no is also heavily on the media, the French media, that is as well.
That media, exactly. They say the French one more time. One more video, one baby, which one here. And you know, one more and you get one more media, so one more you get one more ambassador, so one more you do a beer, and you know, one more I watch one more, and you say no, one more by yourself will be one more, they are very, very careful about them. And one more I watch you, one more say, as he said, one more year opponent, and I say opposition, and now say, put it right, you say, after one more enemy. Among so more enemy France. We are very careful about them. That is why they went all that far. So we're breaking ties with them.
Major, now France diplomatic ties, diplomatic engagement with some of the other African countries in that region. No, Undini say France beats me up for some countries. So okay, you feel Burkina Faso there, but still our region. And you know, you bet me aqua station one there the honum so I a base a mom edge sabotage and we be some to me.
Yeah, what bet is proxy way of dealing with the other country or now what you should be dealing with. But one may be your money. There's someone ECOWAS countries. Time of Burkina Faso a year, one way I said they are going to flash them out.
Yes.
And you want all the chief of defense staff for now be Shia Ghana or Bema Hall planning to go and attack Burkina Faso. Some of us, you can say, are very, very serious. Suicidal movement in one more year. Because West Africa countries, you know, you call Liberia, you Amanipuna, you go you call Sierra Leone, you Manipuna, you go you call Ivory Coast, Manipuna, you go here. Restaurants are not come a year in a country be like no. One more taxi be a no what peacekeeping. Liberia, if you are ever Sierra Leone. Just swap off in our side. The one year on our soil. And they had a pass over to me. I want to use schedule. Law, you standing a peacekeeping.
Yeah.
So you and I have a J operation over Naka ECOWAS. They are one year. Then peacekeeping operation, ECOWAS peacekeeping operations. No, on several occasions, you and Bayer, and Thomas Uncle, America, not economically, yes, and I never wonder. So, you go and fight them now, overthrow. You don't turn on over over to our country. It may be out of they can attack it.
Yes.
Now, over to me now, we are not so flash on this. It is organized over mine. Doesn't mean that you have won the war. No. Now, I said, no crowd, they said, money, and in the jail, a couple more. So they were going to wait for ECOWAS country. Now, must not that ECOWAS group that a better because almost their money, because here, the jail, I'm a couple of Faso. How are you going to try them out? If you want to be the one, ECOWAS will say no. Those of us are security experts. Now you do a full ECOWAS country for no. I think they listen to the words of wisdom. And the man or Mujay or Marco.
Major, not just say me bow. Yeah. Major, Mami Bissau. Let's just say you as part of the Ghanaian delegation, Mami Bissau say the Ghanaian government, a position at the time, and it said do not attack Burkina Faso and answer them. Because in Nigeria, for instance, they were very poised. Tinubu's body language was like very ready to go to war in Burkina Faso. They shared Nanado Krampoa. Now I said they are opposite. Now he was a little tilting towards that. But here now Pesote said Ghana's position was that it was a bad idea to do that. Sana Ochana.
Yeah, Ghana, empty. There was security aspects. President India was security advisors. Nigeria did so better use Ghana. I mean, upfront to that operation. But some of us we spoke against. Other security experts spoke against that move. I feel we are like the one who said, yeah, cannot let a year. Because economically, Nigeria figures out that we see that Ghana, I mean, I possess something. That peacekeeping operations, and I said, I have peace enforcement. Peace enforcement is different from peacekeeping. Peace enforcement, you're going to fight. You're going to open fire and attack them. And he won't me, and yeah, it's West Africa, after Yabia, when you were the boom, we are seeing COVID, up to this time, brother, the play any now. I was about economics in you. We are saying, well, Papa is bravo, don't you? That's how I now so about Kumpapa. That will be here. You have to stay. Now you are cooking. But I will thank God to say, Coast, Liberia, Nigeria, all these countries. They listen to them and then they idea of going to attack Burkina Faso. And you know, they say Burkina Faso, they will say, ECOWAS country, they withdrew from the ECOWAS as some regional bloc and on my formal alliance for Sahel regions. Now, Ghana who said, baby, I know more, not terrorists, every Burkina Faso, they threat the party, Burkina Faso, no. The government of Ghana, at any said, they would move along with them. Special envoy, Kurambona, or the Burkina Faso, TV, and who are people. So the spillover will not come in. So I know being cut. Group now, where you want film and that's all one film one. They will take you as the enemy. And you know, whatever I show one as a woman, terrorists, you know, back to your country, they will leave them. But they say, Ghana, they want some alliance here and I said, agreement, you know. I'm telling you, what did that was that? What was wrong? He said, Ghana will not allow a terrorist against Burkina Faso to come and station in Ghana and fight Burkina Faso. No, we will not allow that. Because the parties are, one said, yes, one southern border country, no, we are not against them. And you know, if you a bit secure, say, yeah, man, one more help for hope. Forget about one more eastern border, one more western border countries, and they said the year, no, they don't. And you know, one more LV said, they say, yeah, one more France. France is sabotage in all aspects, in their interest, we are, they feel a bit secure that said, Obejama or Mamba, now I'm sabotage or million.
Yo, Beja, that's CP. Now, answer the comment, maybe so two questions quickly. First of all, France, any other African countries for military arrangements, any idea? And now, Burkina Faso say, okay, yeah, no more Benyasa arrangement in the idea. So say, you know, first, you be our first part of the question. Or maybe you see other countries as proxies, not just Francophone countries, even some of the Anglophone countries, we are friendly with France through the ECOWAS idea. Who say, Ebema ECOWAS no any AES so enya some type of issues there now on behalf of France, because it's a question France, one of the heavy sponsors of the ECOWAS, right? And now when today, but you need France for Nitakabia. ECOWAS is so I can give. So where does that place the ECOWAS and the AES in terms of France?
So we have said other countries. Let's take even Francophone countries, you know, because one is one first port of call. One making a issue against Burkina Faso. Central African Republic. France and Bono we are fine. Ivory Coast. France and we are fine. Senegal. France we are fine. But one who said Burkina Faso T one more. If you want money, up and the baby or Yana one more Zana one more CC one more minerals exploitation. Yeah, and you never agree or agreement and answer India or no only France one. That's what and the what you mean for use you woman now revolutionary country piano security outside your country and you're stronger than what you have in your country. Until I'm not information, we are intelligent. Now what they are about is outside influence. Remember other combat war who are on growth war what deploy one other countries are who feature a threat. And you any move will be aware of they will know. So what country knows you many problem. But Ivory Coast and the Bay Senegal so boy Burkina Faso. These two countries in one France the home, and they won't do that. In the meantime, one Burkina Faso you fine. It is one ambassadors and embassies in this country. It's all the time no. One man no one can say Mama France why? I'm Mama May. This country is in our problem. It is also and then my own Tilia, Uncle Fan and Uncle Bokashi. Yes, I know there's so this West African countries and now African countries in general. A 3 year pass, Uncle Fan in India, a best problem. Look at what is happening in Gulf region, the Middle East, and the Israel, and Iran airborne, and the Israel, and Hamas airborne, and Palestine. Now, Lebanon for Hezbollah for two bomb what they call Israel. Lebanon as a country, FMO, or what I say, I see fire. Almost a combating. Sir, a terrorist, you know, a Lebanon, and then look at the year. I blow, occupy at about buffer zone. As they say, occupy Lebanon up to even beyond the Tani River. Lebanon, on several occasions. I already on South Lebanon on several occasions. I Benita was a CR. Push from Israel border. I can tell the Tani River. I push northwards. And so wolf is one petrol war. And therefore, I won't go being talked about. Now, when a problem. So I went down when you go out, and they have Burkina Faso about attacking all these countries. France access. And team, at first, I must be very, very careful. So France better walk on top of it's very difficult for them to go and attack Burkina Faso, which they won't do. It's only one if here, but won't even use other countries. On the ground, no, yes, or maybe the crack, and the sabotage, or when you start your man, Burkina Faso for the direct sabotage in Winya, because on top of the Gobi, and now we are use Winya or Mobi. And also one other Savedia, and all sabotage your interest, and we are saying now, it will win if you one in the time for a grab. Now come back, Mimi Hodia, now for me on time for. You are down for. I mean, Joe, you buy. And you know, sir, we are a part of one woman as in now no one from the bar, and you won't talk about million.
Now, then, Walla. Yo, Major, finally, answer the Abacono. Me say France, so, and yet they won't just pull back. Or more, I respond to say, the decision for Burkina Faso to cut diplomatic ties, so they read it as aggression. Now, would say diplomatic language, the word aggression carry a lot of meaning, carry a lot of weight. Aggression perceived aggression from a country can actually lead to war in diplomatic language. No, Sena who translates our response that France, Emma Burkina Faso responded to it as an act of aggression.
Political language. Political language. So, colonial masters in colonial countries, colonies in China. So you must be very careful. So, France, tries when they other countries now. The colonies in previous colonies in Ebaya Bako, it's no more Morocco, Morocco as a country, no more Baki or more. When you move, okay. So now, what you did is our strategy to say, oh, I declare the woman who need the idea, then aggression. but they haven't come to fight you, your country. They are not fighting your interest. They haven't done anything. If they are political language. But on the ground, you know, they will do all things possible, say, or make all these former colonies back into their fold. And they will go and handle it diplomatically. Diplomatically, say they are because the only a year, say we are seeing now, we have the friends, we have the friends, we have the interest, over here, but the America, Gulf region, America were friends for America were Iraq, America were Kuwait, America were so many countries are war Gulf regions. What is America and other countries in the one? Especially camp, military camps, military deployment war. What to be take you up and they very close proximity. And wow, and you know, France, you know, BS Obina, and for and answer, Obina ties with other country. And you all people are leaving you up. Then you are heading towards doom. And you know, in the year past, political talk. Now, diplomatically, no, they would want to make sure that one may reverse the trend of francophone countries, you know, one more backing away from France, you know. And you're good, man. One thing is that you're papa and my woman. You want to be all the thoughts now, our former colonies in Iran, and you move up. So, maintain you and each country is no better than you show our side and but they haven't forgotten said when we go to France in our one form because we have France interested, yeah. Now government now also Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, when himself position himself France in our of our especially regime was on and it's now day in and day out. Military attack and now say Libya or more AHCR government, you know, but they are quite aware that will be any pushing that agenda, no? But tell them kind of France will want to get them back diplomatically instead of going to find them. You can't go and find them, otherwise you wouldn't have left the place. Tell them one for the military deployment wouldn't government do more. Now, other forces are 1%.
Attacking agenda.
More interested there. But like France, I know very well that they will want to handle it diplomatically.
Rather than militarily. Thank you so much, Major Retired Derek Odro. Major, come on, doors more. Semenya say na yeah na questions. But never. But I'll say a size of per time. No, you share some other things. So, America-Iran war. No, but per se you share from the perspective of an African country. The actual impact it's having on us. The best from here anyway deserve common. But then what my so much already with this topic I feel about. It's a better was na ye jawa mwako sisi. Na me pacho last words and sana ya sorry so.
The last word is if you see ya I ask you. Exception general World Veteran Federation. Yeah, they said if you see peace the whole world because you are war. Veterans in our war no more. In the end, you come. Peace was better than any other person. Yeah, veterans. So, and you know, you put your name and say, I said, in you say, now, in your assembly, you down, say, you be ako. The agenda of Ako say, you be remove. You winning, sanity on about 8 times. Nobel Peace Prize. Say, fighting for peace in the whole world.
I see.
But we'll still go ahead. That may be ahead, you know. It's a clear and Yes, and one bra. Now I'm going to give you a grand for so much. Nothing for my giant of animal. In the time, well, better federation, eventually, because country behind you are. You need better association. And also, if you very warm, there they are come with plan. One more for Iran. And then America want to go. He said, we now want to do maybe I say, as of now, but we'll be already the warm. I can say, I'm back. And who is the answer before? Me, and my antenna. They say other countries, no echo or more finding for them. Or we now must peace talk, deal. They're quiet deal, yeah. Debbie, and the quarter to me, and man absolutely military movement to me. They will diplomatic move, and a peace move, and the bit of man absolutely about seeking for peace instead of war.
Wow. And this is coming from a soldier who will be aware of everything there is to say about war. The analysis finally said, let's seek peace. Major Derek Odro, thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, Kwambemwa, that's we're scheduling a too tight to be one. Yeah, but I know be this uncle when I know a kind of while ago. That's CP na ye chebusia phone in us. Yo, that's it. All right. Thank you. Major retired Derek Odro, a former Deputy Defense Minister under the Nana Akufo-Addo government, and only a didn't come on the decision by Burkina Faso to cut diplomatic ties completely with the state of France. Okay. I'm saying now I was saying me and Kasakwa na kama kodada, right? And I'm recording and I'm saying by it. Me saying could you now I'm handing over back to Studio 2, where we will be bringing you agriculture right after this. And after agriculture, please stay tuned for arts and culture and also for GH reports before we wrap up for the day. But thank you very much for enjoying me. My name is Kwesi Sonbak. I come in peace. I come not to please. Before I make on a very quick, very short, I promise you, very short. Let's put this in the place of the editorial. A+. I went on TikTok, after a very long time of not being on TikTok, just to put a message out about something that I saw, a video that I saw about A+, insulting a constituent because the constituent had asked him to fix their roads or to do one or the other thing. This person was the victim of flooding, right? And was calling out to his MP to ask him to come to their rescue. Now, A+ took that personally and decided to insult the guy all the way to insulting his mother and all of that. A+, if you are braced to insult people who are going to ask you for help, then brace up, because this is just one person, right? This is just one person who found the need to grab a phone and make a video and tell you, say, bro, come and help us. It is then brace up, because I'm sure there are thousands of people with the same opinion in your constituency. They just may not have access to whatever platform this person had, or they may just not okay. They may feel more patient, but whatever. But you, A+, who you be, you came to the limelight via what I say. I'm not going to make this long because I already made a video of this, and I'm sure that the message has been sent out already. But I feel, say, I have to like double down on this thing, because how dare you insult somebody who has voted for you and is asking you to do the job that they voted for you for? A+, are you also developing that superiority mentality that our politicians suffer from, whereby their constituents are inferior to them and cannot, how dare they talk your matter? No, how dare you? Because they gave you a job. He's your boss. He is your boss. He gave you a job to do. He sent you to parliament. If he hadn't sent you to parliament, you would be A+, whatever that means, right? But now you're Kwame Asari, being member of parliament for Gomwa East, Gomwa West, Gomwa navel. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this. How dare you insult that person? You dare not insult that person. Stop doing that. Open boisterous talking too much. We admire a lot of your boisterousness. Some of it is needed for the work that you are cut out to do. But know where you are aiming your bullets. Don't you ever again respond to your constituents that way. It's not right. Don't ever again respond to your constituents that way. It's not good. Don't you ever again dare respond to your constituents in that manner, to the point of insulting them, to the degree of insulting their mothers. How dare you? Don't do that again. Yes, and I don't care if you think it's a dead horse, I'll still flog it because it enrages me. So you know what is right, but you do not do what is right. You think that you can criticize all the politicians in Ghana, but you cannot be criticized. How dare you? And then the other part is the age shaming thing, right? People are like, oh yeah, now this guy is 70. Nanado was 70 something and then he messed up. So somebody's 70 something. If you think if you put Kwame Pieni, and yet Nanado chief of staff, no, don't get me wrong, that guy, I don't too much check his ways too much like that. I'm talking about the economist Kwame Pieni. Kwame Pieni, I think is his name, right? The one who served it. I think around the first time he was very prominent, right? But you think, say, despite his age, if you put him as president, you don't think he can function as president? I think he can, right? And I give the example of Bernie Sanders here in the United States. Bernie Sanders is old. Bernie Sanders is a Nepal. I don't even know how that man is functioning. I think they cloned him or something. He's old. But he's one of the best politicians this country has. He's one of the people who are holding the balance. And yes, sir, and a lot of our rights would have been eroded. Bernie Sanders is somebody who is fighting for immigrants even. And guess what? He's Jewish. What I say? He's Jewish. But he's somebody who's fighting for the people from across the border in Mexico, from the people who are coming over from Africa and all that. He's old. So do not come to us with this nonsense about age anymore. If the person is old and can function and can do well, we will support him. If Nanado fucked up, excuse my French, he did so because he did so. It's not because of his age. I don't think so at all. So let's stop this nonsense age shaming, all right? Because I'm sure here, what we'll be doing is say, oh, this guy is young, vibrant, Sani Apakofa, criminal. About Bisiso, not about being president, no, about being whatever, just because he's young. You haven't seen young, corrupt people? They start up as young and end up old. So if you see somebody who's old, but he's okay, take him, let him do what else he can do before the Lord calls him, right? Then establish a young person who is corrupt as all else and will come and continue perpetuating their corruption. A plus. Mind what language you are disseminating to Ghanaians, what I said, because you have a loud voice. When you speak, people listen. So watch yourself. And again, if you can, I know you have a personal assistant. If this personal assistant has the power to veto your tweets, that would be great. If they don't, give them the power to do so. Or if you don't think they have enough clout to veto your stuff, hire somebody who has enough clout to veto the type of stuff you put out. What I say, because some of the things are over kind of crying. But further down the line, bro, listen, internet no they forget to they tell you. One love, I'm out. My name is Kwesi Eson Bakun. I come in peace. I never come to please. I'm cutting out to Studio 2, where we are bringing you agriculture with your man Rootsman right after this very short commercial break. One love. Blood of the slain will never flame.
Ayanaya. Whoa, Zayanaya way. Whoa, Zayana way. Whoa, Zayanaya way. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa from African perspective.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
The Catfish Grill, Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Hello? Yeah, Kwesi. Yeah, welcome to Radio Culture and iCulture TV. It's your favorite program, Agriculture, brought to you every Sunday on iCulture TV. As usual, as usual, your regular host, the Rootsman, is in the seat. Today, we're going to talk about poultry production. Poultry production, we have serialized it into 3 episodes. So we are going to do episode 1 today, and then the next ones will follow subsequently. So yeah, let's start with poultry. What is poultry? If we say poultry, what is poultry? Poultry refers to the domestication or taming of wild birds, which are kept for meat, eggs, feathers, manure, as well as a source of income. And in this episode, we're going to delve into a comprehensive insight into poultry production. Like I said, we've serialized it, so today we are just doing the first bit. Examples of birds that can be domesticated include chicken, turkey, ducks, guinea fowl, geese, quails, pigeons, etc. But among these, it's the everyday chicken that we all know that has taken the show because it's easy to raise the chicken. It's easy to raise the chicken, and then that is why we are going to concentrate on the poultry production today. So the things that poultry does for the ordinary citizens, like the advantages of poultry production, this includes providing nutritious animal protein for the general populace. It creates employment. When you get into poultry production, of course, you employ people to help in doing all kinds of jobs over there. It generates income for households, supplies manure for crop production, improving food security, and supporting agro industries such as feed milling and processing. We have different kinds of poultry production, and we'll go through them one by one. First of all, we have broiler production. Broilers are mainly raised for meat. Like you raise them just for the meat. And the characteristics of a good broiler, fast growth, it should be able to grow fast, like they stated here, like high food conversion efficiency. Whatever food you give them, they really utilize it and brings out the best in them. The advantage, like I said, quick returns on investment. When you go into broiler production, it's a venture which doesn't take long, that much. So yes, in no time you make your money, and then there's a very high market demand. Then after that, we have the layer production. Layers are produced mainly for eggs. Like I said earlier on, we said broilers are for meat. These ones are also for eggs, and they take a bit longer. They take a bit longer because they start to lay in 18 to 20 weeks, and they can be productive for a year. Like once they start laying, they will continue to lay for about a year.
Okay.
So the advantages, of course, regular income from the eggs, because you go around, once they start laying, you go around and pick your eggs and you. Then the other one is the breeder farms. Breeder farms, normally they are there to produce like fertile eggs for other farms to hatch. And they can actually also produce some of the chicken themselves at the place. Then we have the dual purpose birds. The dual purpose birds, they are reared for both meat and eggs. Now we get to the systems of poultry farming, like the various types. First on the list is extensive, what we call free range. That is the normal thing local farmers like, or at least we've got some 10 or 15 chicken at home, but they are not properly housed or something. You just leave them they go around and fend for themselves. Then we have the advantages of the free range system is that low cost, because you don't particularly feed them. They just go around picking feed, whatever they can. And then the best, because of the way they go around to look for food, they naturally get exercised. They exercise naturally. The disadvantage in this one is low productivity, because they are going around. They can go and lay anywhere, so you won't even see the egg. So that is one of the disadvantages. And then high disease exposure. High disease exposure. Because of the way they go around anywhere, they can easily attract diseases from any place. Then we have risk of theft, of course, because they are not housed. They can go out. Somebody can just pick them up and do whatever they want to do. Then we have the semi-intensive. The semi-intensive is basically like a combination of the free range and a little bit of intensive. In this case, you don't totally leave them to go out to feed. There's what we call supplementary feeding. You add some feed to the natural ones that they get, unlike the free range ones. Free range ones, they just go straight. But with the how do they call it? In semi-intensive, you add a little bit of feed to them as well. The advantages of this one is moderate production and lower feeding costs. Then we have the intensive. That is what most farmers practice, like big poultry farmers. They do the intensive, and that's one. The best are permanently housed. You have to get a housing for them, a cage or whatever. And there are two different methods, basically. They have the deep litter system, whereby there is the room, they put the litter, which is normally wood shavings. And then after that, you bring your best and do whatever you need to do. And then we have the battery cages. The battery cages, they are like metal cages where you put these animals in. The advantages of this one is we have higher productivity, easier disease control, and better management. However, the disadvantage with the intensive system is capital intensive. You need a lot of capital, yes, to go in there. Now we go to the housing requirements. A good poultry housing should provide adequate ventilation. Wherever you choose to put your animals, you have to make sure that these things that I'm going to read out loud, they apply to your house or venue for housing the poultry. So one, adequate ventilation. You have to make sure that it's well ventilated, air comes in and goes out easily. Protection from rain and sunlight. You have to site it in such a way that sunlight will not get in directly and rain will not get in directly. You need to always use clean drinking water, because if you don't do that, you'll be attracting diseases for yourself. And then the place should be easy to clean. The lighting should be good, proper lighting. Predator protection. You have to set in gadgets and stuff over there whereby it won't allow creatures like snakes and mice and stuff like that to come into the poultry from outside. And they also say avoid overcrowding. Once you put too many birds in too small space, there's a lot of issues that will come up, because you'll be attracting diseases and stuff like that. Then before you go into the poultry, you need to do, you have to select the chicks that you are going to rear. It is a very important part of poultry farming, because if you select wrong or diseased chicks, it will ultimately affect your overall output. So you choose healthy chicks, and the things that you will look out for in selecting them, the healthy chicks. One of them is bright eyes. The eyes should be bright. It should be able to move freely, active movement. The feathers should be dry and fluffy. The legs should be straight, and then the body weight as compared to the age should be something which is appreciable. And then we get down to the basic equipment that you need when you are going to farming, poultry farming, per se. We need feeders. Feeders is what you put the food in, they are feeding, and then they come and peck. Then drinkers, where they take their water. You need a heat source. When you bring them initially, you need a heat source. So at times they use bulbs with very high voltages or wattage so that it will produce heat within the structure. Okay. Of course, you need a thermometer because you have to regulate the heat. It shouldn't be too low, it shouldn't be too high. And at times, with our local farmers, they have their own way. If they don't have a thermometer, they have their own way of checking all those things. One of the things they do is, these are age-old lantern. The lanterns, they light a lantern and put it in the middle of the poultry. If the place is too cold, you see that all the birds will try to come towards the lantern and come and stay there. If it's too hot, you see them getting away from the source. If it's optimum, you see them spread evenly around. So yes, you will definitely need a thermometer. And then weighing scale. Normally in Ghana here, we don't normally bother ourselves much. But yeah, it's a good thing because when you go to some places, they sell the animal by weight. So they weigh, let's say a kilo is 20 cedis. When they weigh it, it's 2.5 kilos. They know 20 times 2.5, that is 50 cedis. Then because you are going to do egg farming, you will need egg crates to collect your eggs. And then cleaning tools like your shovel, your brooms, brushes, and all those things. You need to do all those, you need to get all those things ready before. So, in a nutshell, this is where we're going to end the first episode. We'll be coming to you again with 2 more episodes, but this is where we're going to end the first episode. But like as we usually do it, I'll go back and do a quick run through in the native language for our farmers. For any for Asher for Munina Yamamo Adri in Umre. I'm saying, what's your catch a crack? You will back a cry away a studio. I fear you was sing for soup. Sisia, Intino, Yabeslam, Yade, program agriculture, Yabeslam on a check a grant and there, Yaba, and there you buy no. There, among a person and cook and among a mom entity actually say now, or motivate share a young wage man. Now, a debia as soon as somebody will into your chimney and sa. Yeah, a mobile and there. Next week, a baby back, next 2 weeks, a person back one account. And in that, then I know, and then I'm pressing minimum. Ye bobo. Ye baby said, there be poetry. Poetry, I can poetry. Normally, ye shining can read to say, and one in I will rim, and no man I didn't I will rim. In Tinkoya, you woman they are, woman after gram, no more rim, or more wild. In Tino, a friend that ye tame on, ye believe, like I said, domestic. Kate said, ye don't want to be free at it, so mum. I said, Sisano Munipa, or Moonsrope, to say their first number walk in Rimna, no more. Into a no, and a deport, a buy a one, and no man on one rim, no more wild, no. You don't be free, but it's on Massiciano, or my tema, you to me a common chain, your mom with me, be proud to be chilling at the general seminar there. Until then, and no, I have a young wage man. Now, a decano, if I say you. In Sunsansoa, a yafi poultry, no more, a deben a poultry, no, a demain. A decano, bonus nutrition, protein, we are nama, a day if you find protein. Into no poultry, are there, my protein, a tosono, say a poultry now. A quite be so no ye be a juma. Because if you are my fat, my poultry, my coffee, say a cocoa by 1,000. Men coming to me and say, Jumano, into the miso, my fee, will be the baby to an actually on Babwami, will be a prepper, will be to tree, feeders, will be to two, and will be to Mintino. A creative employment at the man amount for. A connoissance at this Sika, at the bread, a war, Yedwana Yayanum. I say, poultry, Nanamoni, a dinner, be say manure. Manure, no, a Yedugu, Yanobaso, instead say a chemical fertilizer. Edebeye efense ye kua no ye de manure no a ye de ya no susan so bone bia eni ho na efense if you want so I can see food security ye wo di na time bia ye dwen say ye be ye system na be say eduane enko short da nti ye poultry na eboa ye ma yetumi ye kura eduane and if you also eboa ye local industries or more baby adwuma a mo ye bibi to say a friend is saying, feed na yedema poultry, feed yedema fish, yedema mwani na no. Sa poultry industry no more products maybe ye. If you are adeba akusa woman, comfort people come omo fed this no, omo takra no. Ghana ha no ye cha ko na tutu no da kwacho takra de we ye takra na ye juma bebre ye de ye bibi say sunie. Pillows, like ornamentals, the designs in no man be but Ghana, so yeah. You put my apple, you do what I put naturally, baby. I feel, the best broiler, no egg, the first poultry, no, you will different, I sort to her. The best back. A big kind, no, you first one, you're from broilers, you know. Make I use something that a year a large bit about how country family. More brothers or as I the people from brothers. Brothers, no, young one. The same thing, the mainly the teacher and they say, pay and nam, young for nam meat. Now, omunyi 10. Who shall say between 6 to 8 weeks about ready with me at home. And the way we see the deep into oh, and China Maya can say everybody can see field conversion ratio. Emma Umuso, if you know what would that man and Faso. And I know advantages a woman, and then he said quick returns because and check. Into no William Sika fast and already no market demand no high market demand into the bar now back way. If we are about layer production, layers no almost you are nya omo the teacher woman say omukosia and a yepe omukosia the efense yepe omo no omo check akra between 18 to 20 weeks and sana was started to so obeto ato aso abe 1 year. Within that period, you know, also benya the first thing, we see kind of the film. And there were breeder farms, you know, or mono, we say normally poultry, kosiano, okona koto kosia, untumi fem kofi, enkonko, because enya fertilized. Now breeder farms, you know, omo fertilizing kosiano, into omo supply ema hatcheries, omo na dem hence breeder farms no almost edwuma mo ye no they would dual purpose best no ye nya mo for bienu ni na kosia ene enam ni na ti e fionu ma ye be ko different systems e kwan ya fa so e de ye edwuma no e de kai no first one you find extensive and I say free range no e bi ne ye de ye ofi normal one ye ofi ya Ejam Konoma and Obika say, God is my insurance. The one and I'm no more a paid yanny, or maybe that we do when you be what's the baby. And only a friend free range. Then no advantage a woman say, Obika a low cost. It's a own bocabia on our way on our ocean. And then no, almost the woman say, and one a fit. I'm waiting because they be no money. ntomo says unlike nka for no mugu dan mu no we mu no de bia also papa do be di to nam and the disadvantage of so money I work and so money say productivity is low said the bidin kan kan no agba no nam nti bia akwato ato baby unhu kra na wagwe ko sha no edia na se wakoton nti a lower productivity afei so high disease exposure because omune nam ti no obetumi akọ efie bi ma nkofo yare aba ho no akofa no or the aba and afei so risk of theft and predators because omune nam ti obi betumi achi na apa easily if you are about semi-intensive no so I to say free range na mom no yede eduane kakra ka omo free range no wo mom eduane omo na mudi domenya bia but a friend saying semi-intensive no and yede eduane friend saying eduane kakra ba beka the omo aid no ho and also an advantage say production cost na e wo form kakra moderate if you are a intensive system, intensive, I know that mostly you go for pure money. Say, I'm say poultry farmer. I don't know when say a dank say na go do gum baby. I don't know, and I can say best are permanently house or go die back home. You need piano say, you don't know what to ya for and say baby sir. And this are not why no more. Then no more me no. Ya what the amode first saying sawdust e gum no. Say amode sawdust gum na one e go na mo. Yeah, can't say can sawdust, but yes, sawdust. Yeah, wood savings, the capital for much revenue. Sawdust, no, then yeah, when you problem. A bit more nasal problems. Or basis. You see wood savings, but unfortunately, you look at people more friendly now. Sawdust. And they want battery cage. Battery cage, you know, better. That they are cages and one a woman. And no, a friend say advantage a woman say higher productivity. Say omugufa until when you almost be able to make it. Be ma to me control because omugufa and then generally no better management. And also the solution so one a woman they say sika also the question no so. Opasa o kwaya sa de na sika would be same no so. Nti no and a friend saying the solution so ayewo. Afe yehwe edan a omodenu no wo select dan na na ma bia wo se wo hwe se sanema no hansan na wetumi aye edi kai na say adequate ventilation na so mo kiso say baby a we no frama etumi efa hom free protection from rain and sunlight wo dan na so we say we say ewia no embo direct the same way so ta emko direct you show mo by no make sure say yeah clean. I was saying, and then yes, side that which me a clean more easily, which me a prepare more easily. Light a woman no, a bright fine, baby in your dark, now baby in your light, a bright evenly. I feel predator protection. Yeah, well, we are. I never quite have more and more because of the Kusia. I thought some very Bukan Manakasaso. And so I said, well, what did I much to a quema, Emma or Walking, Emma Nimben. And this answer on any in Crania there. And I can say avoid overcrowding because who fast space can the move brain now. You are inviting trouble for yourself. I then a baby. The next one I say, I shall not so. I'm one of them now. So I say, who select ya, who shall not be a one. One was a bright eyes. Also, almost say I want to need at the Hawkeye active movement. Or Yabua, or to me and Nancy, and so I'll call one to know with Wash. The 9 a straight. Ne, if saying, the furthest among the Takrano, and yes, I for a danger honum fine. And I feel ne Hunimun so making sure say a quantity because one was said a mechanical. Baby, I quite dusty Katana, the most no matter from him, I don't know a common. And a good body weight. I want one say, oh, yes, I waited 2 weeks. Wait, I did 2 weeks, the next say normal. Was a boy, I 6 weeks, but I waited and yet wait, I 6 weeks wait. The so we share so. Afi the you never tell you cry and a normal we here. But this basic equipment. Normal we here would be o friend saying o portrait do man. E dey kai e feeders no. I know yeah they omo e don we aduane go mu na omo be so no. And if you are drinkers no yeah the omo no munsuo no. A friend is saying brooders like within when about to make creating like a brooding house because on mobile first now I want at the end say we create baby would they heat source we be call how do man on mobile to me aka show and yeah can thermometer heat source no okay my can heat source thermometer no and I'm sure we didn't can say you have most of the time yeah very you man but yeah dey here because also they check temperature within the structure no but you have yes simple way farmers no omo dey say obeso lantern o dey go see poultry no mo to the similar say awo too much about some money na efum lantern no ho say heat is too much obo so bia efi lantern no ho go echire say you correct about some spread ewu then eno na almost put thermometer obo dey and you work maybe say weighing scale yeah had on kind and so you fancy you say na fancy but to ka from na dey na mo no abara moton by kilo until no be we abua no ansana when we say bebre woman this how much a kilo cost na fe or the actual pricing no and egg trays say my ya be go share ya be ko demand say we tray a we be hye we ko share wo na fe cleaning tools in here we prayer brush sophie and no normal dia we dey be would be say a hot ma be bibia ko nti and there ye church no how me e be see na me ya adoma da sande no ye de episode 2 no e ba beto aso. Thank you once again for being part of this program. I'm just about to sign off. This has been your regular host, the Rootsman, with your favorite program, Agriculture. Thanks once again to the whole team, and especially to Mr. Prince Crunchy, who has done a yeoman's job regulating things for me. Thank you. Back to Studio 1.
You get the filler. The rest of the man, them a teacher. Them a run after man, them a teacher. But I you say you're so boy, you know the melody. So say I'm run after Peter, just follow. Yo, can I see some light in the crowd, please? Yeah, Ghana people, I thank you so much for representing God. I was not supposed to be here. Right? I just want to do some surgery, some. I know all of you know the news. Yeah, but I still said I was gonna come because yo. people. Like a rope, and in the tree to touch up the sky. Every day we see I work for your blind. Like a bird I want to fly. Then one day, what that them a do to me? I don't want anybody to this. You want them to give up these people, them up with the baby boy. Jump on to me, I do if I don't say I will be shy, every day I know. Tell them this, I was just one of them. Alright, then I say it this way. So no worry about it. Yeah. So no worry about it. So no worry what the fuck they want to say because my life is precious. Me I live my life to dance. I mean don't care about the gun concern and the backbiting. I see that. Up to the climax, up to the energy. See me camera, that's to the melody. Them cannot hold me down. We are the party, what's up? Swap and you begin, and you cross them. If I want it, that's what I don't go. Swap I'm going to say, and you begin, and you cross them. If I want it, that's what I don't go. Alright, so everyone they want to keep come here. You go like ice and the matter.
All right, thank you very much for joining us on today's show. And thank you, Studio 2, for bringing us the rest of the show. This is where we draw the curtain down, unless I'm able to get my, we were waiting for Justice to join us for reports, but the internet is not our best friend today, or I'm not sure what's going on. We're going to draw the curtain down. Thank you guys for joining. Studio 2, please give me a signal. Anything going on? Give me a signal. Are we good to go? Or do we have anybody ready? If they're not ready, we should be wrapping up the call. I mean, we should be wrapping up the show. Please send me a signal. All right, okay, Studio 2 responded, and that's how we do it. We are wrapping up the show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Next week, God willing, we will be back same time, same place, and we'll be bringing you different topics, different guests, but same show. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. And thank you, my team, for everything you do. We'll see everybody next week, God willing. Bye for now, and do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.